Happy Tuesday evening, everybody, from a soggy Not Muchinson.
It's a soggy one.
It is absolutely a soggy one. We've had more rain than in the last week. That was just last week. We had 4 inches, right?
I think so. Yeah,
We've
or
had
maybe
almost,
2 weeks ago. I think it was
yeah,
2 weeks ago because it was on the day of the last show, wasn't it? Like recently, it
yes, yeah,
was like a day or two before the last or that 2 weeks
Hmm.
ago show. Yeah.
Yeah, because
insane.
y'all were talking about the rain, and I still haven't had any.
Oh man, it's absolutely crazy. Last year we couldn't get it to rain, and this year it's like living in Seattle out here. Well, we are in the Pacific Northwest.
That is true.
What's shaking, guys? What's new and exciting?
Hmm.
Anything at all? Sometimes boredom is wonderful.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Uh, it's been pretty slow around here. I mean, we had a pretty good weekend. We had like 7 people Saturday night, band members, and one fisherman, and somebody that their septic was backed up in their house, and some other lady that was just here riding a jet ski around. And so, yeah, we had a few, but we haven't had anybody all week, and we've got like one guest for this weekend, so we may go do something else. Don't have a boat to go fishing in.
Oh no. What's the update on that?
Have no update. They have my lower unit. They haven't updated me on it. He thinks it's just a seal from the original, just looking at it and looking at my gear lube and all that stuff. And so
That would be preferable.
that would be preferable. But I haven't talked to him. I'll call him in the morning and see if he's had a chance to look at it and order a seal and whatever. I don't know what else. That's about it around here, I guess.
There ain't nothing new up in my neck of the woods anyway.
Val went to Iowa over the weekend and took her turn with the grandkids, and her and Bree went up, and I watched the boys, the dogs, which was a lot of fun, in the camper. Two big
Oh my!
dogs.
Well, then for your case, I'm glad it didn't rain.
Yeah. Yeah. They were good though. They weren't bad. They weren't didn't have any issues.
That's good.
Oh, Matt, no rain in Sharon in the Pacific Southwest. Yeah.
I tell you what I have been doing, and it may be my favorite sports time of the year, because I've been watching, as I do every year, every bit of the Little League World Series that I can watch. I love it.
It's very, very pure to watch that.
Yes, it is. And I don't understand why every community doesn't have a Little League. I really don't. Grove doesn't have one. They have baseball, but it's not Little League.
Oh, it's just rec
There's,
league or something.
rec league, and when I lived in Florida, I umpired Little League, and I also umpired at Disney where it was travel ball, and loved them both. But Little League is just, pure. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the parents and stuff still take Little League seriously, but it's not travel ball serious. And why wouldn't you want to give your kids the opportunity to go to end up in Williamsport? I mean,
Mm-hmm. That may be very true,
that
Devin.
that is, it's not true.
Really?
They're paying, their kids are paying, travel ball kids are paying that much. And a lot of those kids do both. So there are some Little League parents that pay that much. I mean, we did. Brett played travel ball. And this was 30, 25 years ago. We paid $5,000 every summer 25 years ago for Brett to play travel ball. But he also played Little League, two totally different things. And yes, they pay, if they need that much money to go to Williamsport. Yes. But, and Webb City went to the Little League World Series. So I'm not speaking from something I don't know about. And we did have to raise just about 10 grand per kid. But when your kids are going to Williamsport, it's not that hard to do, to raise that much.
Always easier to raise funds for something kid related than adult.
And you don't, so there's a small percentage of the Little League kids. I'm talking Little League, the actual Little League brand, the actual Little League brand that end up paying that much. The ones that make it that far, yes, they have to travel expenses. They got to get there to Williamsport and all that. Totally different from travel ball. Exactly what I just said, Devin. My son Brett played 144 games one summer.
Holy cow.
Because his team was great. And
Yeah,
they
so
made
they're
it.
always going to the
They
championships.
made it to the weekend almost every tournament they went to. They played 144 games that summer. That was not Little League. That was travel ball. He also played on a Little League team in Webb City that went to the World Series the year after he was out. So we knew all those kids that went to that. We knew their parents. We knew how much they paid. Little League is completely volunteer. So in your city, in your town, you do have to have a bunch of volunteers. Like I umpired. I didn't make a dime for umpiring Little League, where I was making $40 a game umpiring Disney or travel ball. But it was, and I got yelled at just as much at Little League as I did it at travel ball. But there was still a big difference. And I don't understand why the towns focus so much on that travel ball that does cost the parents a lot more money when there's an avenue for Little League that is much more cost effective. Little League, and they give you a lot of the supplies and stuff to make your league. They tell you the rules. They tell you there's ways to get funding. There's fundraisers. There's all kinds of stuff that Little League helps you from. And it's not just around here. There was no little league in Alabama when we lived there. I think a lot of it is a parents' ego. Like little league is not as
Not elite enough.
elite enough
Yeah.
as these
Mhm.
travel ball. My kid's on a travel team because he's good enough. No, he's on a travel team because you have the money to get him on a travel team for the
Mhm.
most part. I
Yep.
mean, the
Everybody thinks
same,
their kid's the next star.
yeah. Little League is, I'll just use Web City as an example. So Little League is like Rec League, but you have somewhere to advance to. All you got to do is sign your town up and you have somewhere to advance to. So like Web City had back in the day in the 11 to 13-year-old division, which is Little League, they have they had 8 teams. And you play your regular season like Rec League, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the season, they pick the best couple kids off each team. You know, one team, if they were really bad, may have only gotten one kid on the team, on the all-star team. And maybe the really good league champions got 3 or 4 kids on the, but you had your 12 or 13 best kids out of those 8 teams made your all-star team, and that's the team that your town, Web City, went up against Joplin and Carthage and whoever. And then you go to regionals and you go to districts and you end up playing against South Dakota and Oklahoma and Nebraska in your division, and then end up in the Midwest, and your best Midwest team goes to the World Series. Which is, once you get there, I mean, you see what it is on TV. There's nothing like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like going to the Bassmaster Classic for these kids. And I don't understand why people don't want that for their kids. I don't get that. Not just their kids, for the community's kids, I guess.
Right.
Because your kid may never make it, but nobody from your community is making it if you don't have a little league.
True.
There's other leagues. I don't know what it's called. There's like it's not Babe Ruth because that's older kids. But there's other little league type leagues that you can play in, like Cooperstown. There's a Cooperstown Classic or something where your kid, same age group as Little League, can make it to, and that's pretty cool as well. But Little League is just so prestigious. There's 3 or 4, like I said, other leagues, and I don't even know what they are because it's like Bassmaster. Little League is like the Bassmaster of kid baseball. That may be a bad example now because Bassmaster is, in my opinion, not become fading as a leader. But over the past decades, you could equate Little League to the Bassmaster. USSSA, I don't know if they have baseball. They may have baseball. That's a big softball organization. I umpired USSSA as well, and ABA. Mainly softball, but I think there is some baseball divisions. But I don't understand. I don't know why. I don't know why communities don't have it. I just know this is one of my favorite times of year. I find myself trying to watch every game that I possibly can. in the Little League World Series.
Because it's just for love of the game.
It is for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I get
You
that.
know,
I
kid,
totally get that.
this afternoon I watched kid hits a leadoff home run in an elimination game where the kids that gave up the home run are going home if they don't win. And the first baseman gives the batter a high five as he's on it going by. You don't see that in travel ball, and
Mm-mm.
it just gets too serious.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, Little League at that level, when they make it to the World Series, they're serious. But it's still, there's just something about it.
The sportsmanship doesn't get lost in that, and you see that on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Pretty
Crank.
cool.
Yo.
Programming, note to self. From now on, when we need to pull 15 minutes out of somewhere,
Uh-huh.
ask John about youth baseball.
It's a good one.
No, I totally understand that. I do understand that. I experienced some of that, not to that degree, but some of that coaching basketball. And it's the same thing. Same premise. There you go. Chris Johnson's right.
Yes, I agree. Every sport should be that way. Like I said, I think it's more of an ego thing with parents than it is the kids. I mean, I remember Brett's travel ball days. When we'd go on a Thursday and have like 2 games on Friday, and if you did well in those 2 games, or maybe one on Saturday, and if you did well, then you played on Sunday a couple games. And the parents are exhausted, and the kids are just playing for like you said, they're playing for the love of the game. Like, they could lose the game and a half an hour later be in the hotel parking lot playing wiffle ball.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because they loved it that much. And the parents are huddled over in the corner of the parking lot bitching about why they lost.
Yes. And crying in their beer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Never seen any egos with parents. Yeah.
It happens in fishing too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. Oh yeah, this is a fishing podcast thing, isn't it?
Yep.
I guess. Not always.
Yeah, this one was just titled Tailgatin'. So.
Oh, there you go. That's possible, Devin.
Probably so, but Devin was playing, so I probably wouldn't have met him. And I was a parent. Maybe Brett and Devin met on the field somewhere.
Yeah, that's very possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about the same age.
Yeah. Yeah.
What have you guys been watching? What have you been watching lately, other than Little League?
Big Brother.
Big Brother.
And The Chosen.
I haven't started that one yet.
I'm on season 5, which is the latest season.
Richard, that's where I was going with that. The new Bassmaster channel. On the days that I am still working from home a little bit part-time, that's just my background noise now. And some days it's brand new stuff, and there's a lot of repeat, but that's to be expected, just getting started. But what it's been good for me is I can go back, I can have that channel on, and I can see like Mercer's officially podcast, and I can see the Tommy Sanders and Zona podcast, and I wouldn't have done so otherwise. I wouldn't have, had them streaming on my phone while I was trying to work. So it's cool. It's cool. I think that was a step in the right direction.
Yeah,
for everyone, for all of them, they should all do that.
Yeah, I just get annoyed with the repeats, and I know when they're running 24 hours a day or whatever it is, that there's going to be that. I watched it for, I don't know, not too long ago, maybe a month ago, or when I was cleaning rooms, I had it on for like 2 days while we were cleaning. And when I started to see the same thing, like for the third time, I'm like, I would have thought they would have had more. I mean, I know they have more content than that. So I think they do need to do a little better job of just, I understand repeats, but they've got 50 years of content.
That's what I'm hoping for.
So let's at least go 30 days, like try to go 30 days without a repeat. I think they could do it if somebody did it. I don't know. I did this when I worked there too. I'm like, surely you can make the computer program do this and this and this, because I'm not a programmer, and it's just that easy. I know it's that easy. So I'm sure the editing or the JM, whoever puts together the programming, is doing their best. But I mean, it's the same with MLF. Like I tried that outdoor TV for a while. Like I did a free trial. You got like a 7-day free trial, and I watched it pretty heavily for 7 days. And there were so many repeats. I'm like, why would I spend money? I'm not going to spend any money to do this. The good thing is this is free, so it's not costing me anything to watch a repeat.
When you were in Iowa, we were talking about this, and I said that I would love to see some of the old TNN Bassmaster. So,
yeah.
Well, that's what Richard's saying there. That's when it was still magic to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I think last time I was on, we said something about, I don't know how we got off on the subject, but we were talking about, I think there was going to be a meeting at La Crosse or something, an angler meeting, because it's the end of the year, and they're kind of probably announce what they're going to do with forward facing sonar and all that. I don't know who brought that up, but I said there's probably going to be a meeting at La Crosse. There's not going to be a meeting at La Crosse.
Oh,
I know that for sure. There will be a meeting, but I think it's going to be after the EQs. They're going to announce what they're going to do with the changes they're going to make, and they are going to make some changes. So, but I was texting with somebody, in the bass office, asking them about this. And we were texting back and forth pretty heavily because I wanted to know when the meeting was going to happen, because it's going to happen sometime. And they said something. Oh, it was when you messaged me about how many qualifiers, or we were talking about how many guys qualified, and so I wanted to double check that.
The EQ qualifiers.
Yeah, I wanted to double check that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I started texting with somebody, and then I got on. I asked them if they were going to have a meeting at lacrosse. They said no, they don't. It's not fair to have a meeting. You know, people are trying to fish, trying to make the classic the last time, and I've always agreed with that. I always disagreed when they said they were having a meeting at the last elite. I'm like, why are you doing this? These guys are they're at their last tournament. Some of them are fishing their last tournament ever as an elite, and you're gonna have a meeting talking about rules where emotions are going to be high. I always disagreed with that. So they're not doing that anymore. Kudos to them. I said, kudos to this person. And we went back and forth, and it is 10 anglers that qualify through the EQs.
Okay.
But then he said, I asked him a question about, actually, let me just pull it up. I asked him a question about.
Don't hold it to the screen or anything.
I'm not going to. I asked him if it was just the elite anglers that could fish the EQs, or just any elite anglers, or just the guys that requalify or don't requalify, which would make more sense to me. Like,
yeah, if you're not qualifying on the elites, then you get a chance to go in and get back in.
Right. But the problem is there's a classic berth tied to each one of those tournaments as well. So elite anglers that may have requalified, but not high enough to make the classic, have a chance to make the classic. So that's why all of them can fish the EQs if they want. But I asked him that question, though. I'm like, can even the ones that are out after Sunday fish? Because technically, I mean, when it says all elites can fish the EQ, technically after Sunday, there's about 30 of those people that aren't elites anymore. If you really want to get down to it. So if the rules say elite anglers can fish the EQs, and I'm one of those guys that is an elite angler, and a guy that's not an elite angler because he just got bumped out because he didn't fish well enough this year, I don't want him fishing.
Yeah, he should technically have to go back through to get back to the EQs then, right?
Yeah. And so I got an answer. The answer was, not sure what you're asking. All elites, all elites can fish the EQs. And I said, I was just wondering if the elites that don't requalify after Sunday are actually considered still elite anglers. since they technically are out. I'm guessing there's a rule or a clause in there in who can fish the EQs, including newly ousted anglers. And I got zero response to that question.
Because they hadn't thought of it.
They had not thought of that.
Yeah.
And they're probably getting questions from number 60 that's requalified for the elites, but has not qualified for the classic. Why is number 88 allowed to fish the EQs when he's not an elite angler anymore?
Dun, dun, dun.
That's true. And then as an EQ angler, you wouldn't want that guy in there either.
No.
Because it's like, he didn't fish anything to get here like I did.
The EQs probably should have been held before the last elite.
Should have mixed him in the middle of the elite schedule, so
Mixed
that way,
them in, at least got them started. You
Yeah.
can have one, even if you just had one, like one of the three before lacrosse, so that guys that didn't think they were going to requalify, even if they went to lacrosse, they could hedge their bets by trying to fish the EQs. But by doing it after the lacrosse, I haven't seen the rules. I don't know the rules. I don't know the format. There's got to be something in there that allows, I guess, newly ousted or 2025 elite. It's got to say something like that in there somewhere.
yeah, you're technically an elite angler.
2025 elite anglers can fish the 2025 EQs. But if it was, I don't know. Why wouldn't he answer me that if that's what the
because that would be a straightforward answer.
True.
Yeah.
True. Well, you've picked that scab open.
Yep.
Bass Pro Tour going from 80 to 50. So there's 30 guys that just got bumped.
Yeah. I saw something today that they're doing something with their pro circuit. Is that right? The Toyota series or something like that?
The tackle warehouse circuit.
There you go. That's it.
What are they doing? I didn't see it.
I don't remember. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
I'm not going to lie. When we have an MLF guest, I try to go, I read their bio and think of maybe something to ask. And for me personally, just with my own schedule, that one is the hardest one for me to follow. It's not that I don't want to follow it. I can't keep up with it. So it's frustrating to me at times. And then apparently they dropped off of Discovery Channel and now they're on RFD TV.
That's a popular channel.
Yeah.
I got it pulled up here.
Devin, I'm saying they are going to be allowed to fish the EQs. I'm asking that question from the mind of a angler that's trying to make the classic or make the requalify for the elites or qualify from the elites. One of those 100 open anglers. I'm asking that question from their point of view. Bass is going to let them fish, all the elites. I mean, that's what they're doing. I'm just kind of poking the bear, I guess, a little bit, asking them what, but I'm not the only one. I'm sure somebody's already asked him that question.
Yeah.
Oh, you know that. What'd you find, Cranker?
So this was on the MLF 5. Tackle Warehouse Invitational Circuit is returning to its old moniker, and with it comes some notable and overwhelmingly positive changes. For starters, top payout for each pro circuit event in 2026 will increase to $100,000, $135,000 including Phoenix Boats contingency bonus, which will be guaranteed regardless of field size. Entry fees are also decreasing $500 per event, with deposits also decreasing or reduced by $500 per event, none of which will negatively impact total purse. So, and then looks like the top 5 pros and point standings at the end of each year will earn an invitation to the Bass Pro Tour in 2027 at least.
So that probably comes from the 30 guys that are getting booted, giving them a somewhere to go that's financially beneficial.
Yeah. And then looks like the winner of each stop will also earn an automatic berth to Red Crest.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's interesting.
Yeah. So that's more similar to the structure, I guess, of Bass as far as qualifying to some of their more top events.
Yep.
Which makes sense.
That makes that circuit just off the cuff a little more appealing than the opens.
Yeah.
I mean, 100 grand, first place. First place in the open is 45.
Mm-hmm.
And the top 5 go directly to the BPT and don't have to fish EQ.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really do any like live as much coverage though as like Bass does with the opens, do they?
No.
I think that's I think they're gonna have to start doing that to try and get more exposure to it.
Yeah.
That's and that's what I'm talking about. It's that's always been their downfall. Just me being a casual observer, they're just not as well promoted as Bass.
So Matt Pangerak had somebody on from MLF, and I know him, but his name is going over my head now. I'll think of it. Anyway, he's pretty high up in MLF. And that guy was saying, I wrote it down somewhere. He said that every boat has a camera like a GoPro camera, but he called it something else, that has the ability to live stream every single one of their anglers, which everybody's been asking for.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah. And I'm like, why aren't
Starlink.
you doing it? Why aren't you doing it?
Man,
he said that's how they get away with their, that's how they, what am I trying to say? That's how they make sure everybody's following the rules. When they don't have a, uh, observer or marshal or whatever in the boat, and he said they have them, like they hand them out, like it's not required by the angler to bring. Like bass requires the angler to provide a POV on their boat that's facing forward, that they have to turn over their footage for upon request by bass. That's how they get away with the guys not having marshals in the boat and all that.
mm-hmm.
This MLF guy said they have enough cameras to give every single boat. They have like 200 of them, he said. And they all can have the ability to live stream. And he said they use it. He said they use it. Like he said, we will, like it's live streaming. It's not just recording. When they're in a tournament, it's live streaming back to somewhere at MLF, because they'll call the marshal or they'll call the angler and say, hey, you need to adjust your camera. Something's blocking it where we can't see you fishing.
Wow.
And that probably went over a lot of people's heads, but I'm like, why aren't you doing it? If you have that ability,
yeah,
and you're doing it, why aren't you broadcasting it somehow? I mean,
Like,
and
that's
I think
another step forward that they could
Matt
be
Pangrac
themselves.
asked him that question, and obviously that's their goal. So there's something about the system that's not working yet that, he didn't want to go over. But
maybe he's not allowed to say anything.
Or maybe
yet.
he's not allowed to, because what brought this whole subject up was MLF is coming out with, for the lower ranks, for like the federations and stuff. They're working with Bubba Scales. And it sounded to me like eventually Bubba Scales will even have a way to take a picture of the fish that's hanging on the scale, so that you could do stuff like we did with the Frank Stong not too long ago, but weigh them on a Bubba scale and release it. And it records it and sends it right back to the score tracker. And you got to hold it. And I didn't know this, and this is true about a Bubba scale that I didn't even know about until this show, that if you notice when you're holding your Bubba scale, it won't lock in if you're moving. Like if you're moving your like this, or you're holding it to where you're looking at it like this and the thing's hanging down. It's got a bubble leveler in the Bubba scale where you have, for it to lock, everybody has to hold that scale the same way. Like you got to hold it.
Oh,
you got to hold it level for it to lock, which without even trying, that means Danny and I can be in different parts of the lake and we're holding our scale the same way, because it won't lock in unless you're holding it this way.
That's cool.
That's the same as everybody using a golden reward.
Yeah. Mr. Kister, welcome.
Howdy.
How are you?
We're 45 minutes into, we don't have anything to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes that's okay.
It's like when we had the join the show link night, and Dominic came on, and we talked about these very things. I mean, Dominic went 20 minutes on it should be pay-per-view on the anglers or option, at least to watch the angler you want to. That would make a tremendous difference.
Yeah, I saw him for just a few minutes Saturday afternoon, and I told him he did a great job filling in. I think maybe, never know, he might actually get invited a little bit more if he comes up with some more cool ideas like that. Because I listened to some of that and I was like, yeah, that makes total sense.
Maybe we'll just give him his own show. The syndicate part of Idle Zone Syndicate suggests a group. We could have several different shows and still be under the Idle Zone Syndicate heading.
We could.
Don't get too carried away.
Well, while
have
we're
one every night.
While we're on the subject of Dan and crazy ideas, we were talking about the new Bassmaster Roku channel. You know what it takes to have your own Roku channel?
No, have no idea.
Somebody to send in tape.
Well, that. Or negotiate to get the old Nashville network shows, but it's less than 10 grand to get it off the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
crazy.
That sounds like 10 grand.
Well, let me Venmo you that right now.
Sweet. That would be very helpful to me right now.
Just my share, which will be
in this
$20.
In the whole scheme of television, though, that's nothing for the television business.
No wonder there's reruns every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
but yeah, I actually checked into that one day. I was just super excited about this show, and it's like I saw an ad. Well, it was actually an ad on Roku about having your own channel, and so I clicked on it. And like, really? That's all it takes?
That is actually kind of surprising.
Yeah, I mean, you think about. I mean, it sounds like a big number until you start thinking about how much money is sitting on the trailer in your driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you can't use.
So what we'll do is we'll just put a camera on Kiki's boat whenever he goes out. And even if he goes with Moody, we'll film off Moody's boat too. And maybe someday we can have the Idle Zone Roku channel. See, there you go. We'll just live stream it straight from the boat.
What version is that, Kyle?
It's the Hero 8.
Okay, stick with that. Because I upgraded to a Hero 10. And I can't record but maybe 2 hours before it overheats.
Okay,
I've heard that.
And that's a common, and I've done everything they say to do.
Do you run it with the battery? Help. Do you run it with the battery in it?
It won't run without the battery. I have a big battery pack that I run. And it bigger than that.
So I run 2 of these, and I don't run with the battery in it.
It won't. The Hero 10 will not do that.
I'm not getting one of them then.
Do not get a Hero 10. I'm going back to my 8 because I could record all day on a battery pack like you've got.
Yeah, these little cell phone. These are the size of a cell phone.
And then I got 2 or 3 other batteries just in case that I can pop in if I run out of those, which I rarely do. But on this 10, it has been so frustrating. Like I got basically zero coverage of my trip with the grandkids because it wouldn't record more than 2 hours. And then once it would go off and you'd have to cool down and then it would come back on and run for like 20 minutes and overheat. And I've done everything that I've Googled. You know, I bought the media the media cover thing that you can put on it. It's supposed to keep them cooler and all that stuff. Doesn't work.
The only trouble I've ever had with mine, and I don't use it a lot. I did when I first got it, and I've kind of slacked off this year a little bit and not. But the only trouble I've had with it is you go to Dollar General and buy the off-brand SD card.
Well, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I talked to I went to Best Buy in Joplin, and I talked to the Geek Squad because it kept giving me issues, corrupt files or something. I don't remember the message. And he said, yeah, it's honestly, it's just because it's a no-name SD card and it's not made to.
No name, and you want to not. You think you want a big one so you don't have to change it.
Yeah.
You don't. You want like a 56.
Yeah.
Like a 256 is too big. I mean, Hero 10. That was the other reason I got a Hero 10, because I was supposed to be able to use a bigger SD card. It was supposed to be just better, everything. And it's been the most frustrating camera I've ever owned. And I've had a couple 8s, and I'm perfectly happy with them. And I'm going back to using my 8.
The times that I have had it on my boat, I stuck one of those mounts on my windshield on the console, and I kind of felt like it wasn't capturing everything I wanted it to. I do have a YOLO stick.
Me too. That's what I use.
I'm going to start kind of experimenting with that because I want my son to be able to maybe learn from it down the road a little bit. And, we've had some trips where I've gotten some footage of him and different things, and got some cool footage of myself fishing. And then, something that it taught me whenever I was using it was like, really, I'm that foul mouthed. Really, it's not good. But so I need to get some editing software because I do have some pretty cool stuff. It's just
Premiere.
Nothing I want to put on the internet.
I don't know what you use, Kyle, but I use Premiere Elements. Adobe Premiere Elements is what I use. Doesn't cost that much, and I can use it.
That's maybe what I should try then.
It's simple. I mean, you can put words and music and all that stuff on it, and it's easy. It's really easy to do.
If you need a theme song, I know a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of videos that I would like to do some voiceovers because just the situations and
Yeah.
I want to circle back to a comment you both mentioned Yellow Tech. Are you both using those mounts?
So I used a YOLO Tech for a long time, and I actually used it as it was to be used. You put it in the light holder, and you turn your nav light on, your anchor light on, and your camera just mounts on the top of it, and you plug it into that. Well, then I got the light on my power pole. So now when I turn my anchor light on, my light on my power pole comes on and runs the YOLO Tech, which I don't like. I don't like because my light's pretty bright and I don't need it on all day long. So I still use the YOLO Tech, but I don't plug into the YOLOtech. I have a battery pack mounted on the top of the YOLOtech and the camera mounted on top of the battery pack, and I just plug into the battery pack. I use it for a mount basically now, but I don't use it for the power.
This is way more sophisticated than when I used to film with my original GoPro Hero. The
That's how I
OG.
use mine. That's how I use mine.
Moody's comment is my favorite.
Oh yeah.
What's a VHS?
It's
Oh.
a cam. The
I'm just kidding.
Put the camcorder on the shoulder.
He's
and
gonna
walk
make you fish and try and film with the camera on your shoulder. You can be
Oh,
net
dude.
boy and cameraman.
Earlier this summer, I was out at our old place and I was digging through some of the stuff that had flooded. I found our old VHS camera, and it was not rusted shut. But I still can't get it to come on or anything. I've charged it. But that thing is like the size of
Isn't it
a
awesome?
sewing machine, you know.
It's hilarious. And everybody had one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even my parents had one, and I thought it was wow. I mean, yeah.
I don't think we ever had we had a VHS, but it was the one with the little, can't get my finger in the right place. The one with the little tapes.
Oh yeah, when they brought out the
It was like a
handheld
Sony.
more.
It was like a handheld. It was
Yeah.
It was like this, and we taped
Yeah.
all of Brett's, 3rd grade through 6th grade football games, and we've got those tapes. I mean, we still have those tapes. I'd love to get them somewhere. Got to find them. I'd
You
love
can
to
get
get
them
them
digitized.
digitized. It'd be awesome.
Kind of with that whole subject. So, obviously everybody has cell phones now, and
Wish I didn't.
all that's great.
Me
and
too.
all. A friend of mine, he does a lot of filming and videos and putting on Facebook fishing videos and stuff. And I was talking with him about how I thought maybe he used a GoPro. He does not. He uses an iPad, and he puts it in he built a mount for the rear pedestal seat in his boat, and the video quality of him out in his boat when he's fishing is it's really good.
Yeah.
The audio's good, everything, and he's like, yeah, it's just an iPad. I'm like, wow.
Okay, Moody, I'm ready. Come get me. We'll shoot a fishing.
That's
shot.
awesome.
That's hilarious.
Didn't it have a microphone on it, D?
Oh yeah. Looks like the mice ate it off.
That's hilarious.
You're going to need a couple more lithium batteries if you're going to power a camcorder, Mood.
Mm-hmm. Hey, speaking of Panger, he had a good showing last weekend. He was what, 20? He ended up top 25.
Yeah, I think he got a top 25.
Yeah, got a nice check.
Spoiler alert, never mind. Sorry.
What?
Nope. I'm sorry.
What?
I don't know where you guys are at, and I'm backing up.
We're right here on the screen beside you.
No.
Well, backing up even more, speaking of Idle Zone syndication, I'm going to post my YouTube channel link in the comments.
Okay.
So if you want to go watch some of my fishing videos that I've made in the past.
Post mine too.
Oh, yeah. Let me find yours.
Oh, yeah.
Mine are hilarious.
The Catchy Hooks TV.
That's right. We even sold 50 shirts.
I think I bought one.
I'm sure you did.
Hey, so this is something that maybe it's not a road that you guys want to go down, but I'm going to just kind of prance around the flower patch about it.
You make me a little nervous when you talk about prancing around.
She didn't say he was going down a wormhole.
You sometimes have to use different terminology to get you guys sucked in to the web. So let's just figuratively say that I'm, I don't have that much fishing tackle, but I've got enough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have anybody to air it to. Why don't you just give it to me when you're still around? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm not gonna go fishing anymore. Here, you just go ahead and just. Will you sell this for me, or will you just? What do you want? You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking to anybody directly. Okay, not talking to anybody directly. I'm just kind of venting a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask your wife, or don't leave it to your wife to ask one of your buddies to come over and do that sort of thing for you. Just go ahead and make that decision on your own. Do everybody a favor.
I'd be afraid that my buddies would even though I was gone, I'd be afraid that my buddies would tell my wife what I really paid for all the stuff.
That was a conversation that may or may not have been had an hour ago.
My wife would tell you that's why it took so long for us to get married, is because I kept buying fishing tackle.
I mean, we know how much we paid for the junk. You know what I'm saying? The wife, she might be blindsided by how much stuff's worth. And I'm just saying,
mine's
just
not.
figure it out. Just figure it out.
Mine knows.
Just figure it out before anything goes down.
Mine knows.
John, where do we find your YouTube channel? What's
Where
the
do
name
we
of it?
find my YouTube channel?
Is it Jayhawk John?
Good question.
Well, it can't be the one that has the K-State Wildcat as its picture.
Oh, it could.
At Jayhawk John 65.
There you go.
There it is. All right. I'm going to get the link there.
Let's see. We had a couple people must have joined late because Dominic, I think we touched on that a little bit. The MLF Pro Circuit. That's the one you were talking about, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's asking what we all thought about it. I think it's pretty interesting, and I think it puts it up pretty. Just at first glance, I think it's pretty enticing because it's quite a bit more payout than the opens. They lowered the payout a little bit, or the entry fees. What were the entry fees? You remember?
I don't know what they were before, but they lowered them by 500.
So they recently made these changes, I guess.
Yeah.
It was posted earlier today.
I'm sure the payout, I'm sure the entry fees are still quite a bit more than an open, which is why the big difference in payout. But there's some pretty enticing things there, like direct entry into the BPT for like the top 5, not having to fish EQs. So when you add all that money together that you're saving, I'd have to take a better, closer look at it, but it's pretty enticing, Dominic. I think it's a pretty good move for them.
I was listening to a podcast for just a little bit on my way home about an angler that just won a pretty decent pile of money. And he said that his dad, prior to that tournament, was actually asking him not to go because he didn't think he was going to have money to have enough money to get back from that event, and he ended up obviously winning. And he was fishing a big tournament. So I mean, to kind of tag on to that, these guys are the guys that are fishing the opens, and it may look like it's a decent gig on paper, or from afar, but even if you're having a mediocre season, it's not.
No, they're not. You're not fishing the opens for the money. You're fishing the opens to try to make it to the classic or the elites.
I think they need to retitle the opens as the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Yeah. No joke.
I mean, it's either finished. Did we finally decide? Is it finish in the top 10 in the EQs or go home, essentially, John?
Got to finish in the top 10 to qualify for the elites.
So they're going. So, and I just want to make sure that I have this correct. They're going to kick 10 Elite Series anglers out.
More than 10. More than 10.
Because
you got a nation guy coming in. You got 10. You got 10 EQ guys coming in. So that's 11. It's usually 13.
I think that's why I had that number in my head. I thought it was 13.
It's usually around 13 because you'll have a couple legends. You got a couple legend berths, and you could have legends that are going out and other legends coming in.
Is that why the Elite Series number is sometimes it's like 105, sometimes it's 108, sometimes it's 103, just all depends? Okay.
Because you got to take all the qualifying criteria and put it all together.
So who has this magic list? Because, or you can just flat out tell me, Kyle, you're an idiot. It's on bassmaster.com. I don't care, but when it comes down to it, you get on bassmaster.com.
You can't figure it out unless you cannot figure it out. You as a layperson, as me sitting here, I cannot figure it out. We used to sit in Tripp's office, and Tripp used to have a whiteboard with all. It's the only way we could figure it out. With all the names on it. Here's the 37, here's the 70 that requalified, or whatever the number was that's in the Elite Series booklet. Tells you how many automatic requalify, and then it'll tell you, and then it'd have a column where these anglers here have a 5-year average of whatever the goal was. And here's the ones that need to make a move, and this whiteboard would start taking shape like the second to the last tournament of the year. And then even after the whiteboard, even after the last elite, you still got to wait for the EQs, because there could be some double, there could be an elite guy that's on this whiteboard down here in this column over here that's out, that fishes the EQ and makes the top 10. So he gets back in, and then, and then you got the nation guy that's going to take a spot.
That kind of brings me to what I had in my head too, and I really don't even know where to start with this, but let's just go back in time and let's talk about a guy that is a legend in the Bassmaster Elite from the beginning, a legend that was in it until he decided to leave. Let's just say KVD, for example. How many years would it take for him to essentially suck to even get phased out? it's almost impossible because of his Bassmaster Classics, his Angler of the Years. I mean, he ruled for so many years in a row. He won a whole bunch of Elite Series.
It's not the entire body of work. It's the last 3 or 5 years, whatever's in the Elite Series booklet. It's not the entire body of work.
So they don't go by careers. They don't go by career stats. Then they
It's
just
not the
go by,
entire body. Like there's no.
because I was under the impression that it was under the career you have built with the Elite Series from 2006.
Unless they've changed it. It is not the entire body.
It's on just a 3-year average, and it's based on, because I thought it was based on your best 3-year average. So when you win 4 AOYs, it's almost impossible for you to get phased. You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Rick Clunn got phased out. How did he get phased out, though? You know, that's kind of my question. Obviously he decided to retire, but you know, the last few years that he was in the Elite Series, his performance wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm looking for the
I'm going to do something funny while you're looking. This is how I feel when you guys are talking about explaining this.
It's the conversation that yeah. That's hilarious. With the mark.
Twitter reminds me of.
That's how Tripp and I looked in his office.
Did Tripp have a marb in his hand too?
Some days.
I had to do that.
It's the conversation that I wanted to have with you guys, because I look at it from a couple of different ways. I look at it from the way, okay, you know, the Bassmaster Elite Series or Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour, I don't care what you're in. They try to say that they want you to be in it from a performance-based perspective. But at a certain point, there is no way possible that they want new guys in there every 3 years. From a viewer standpoint, I don't want new guys in there every 3 years, because I can't keep up with the guys that are in there now, let alone next year. And if they're going to start, if they're, 13 guys a year, and then you multiply that by 10 years, obviously that's more than the field is right now. But there's a whole bunch of guys that are having a real hard time, performance-based time, keeping up with the guys that are coming in and kicking their butts,
Mm-hmm.
At what point does Bassmaster or MLF or National Professional Fishing League go, we got to figure out something to keep some of these vets around so we can keep the guys that are the baby boomer class of guys interested in watching our show?
I think they've passed that.
I kind of think maybe they have a little bit too.
I think I'm not sure they can go back.
Because the baby boomer guys have a tendency to cheer for guys like, rattle them off. David Fritz, Clark. I mean, I'm just saying they have a tendency to cheer for the guys that they've known to be great professional fishermen for 20 plus years.
All the household names.
I mean, if Jimmy Houston or Hank Parker or Bill Dance was to get back in it, I'd cheer for them too, me personally. But I have a really hard time cheering for the Bassmaster Classic champion, Easton Fothergill, right now. Me personally, I do, because I don't really know who he is. And when he got up on stage, he was kind of quiet.
I know he fished my damn spot on Milford to catch some of those fish when he was there.
Yeah.
And I'm just using him for an example, but
that's the only spot on Milford.
Also,
and And I'm definitely not taking anything away from any of those younger guys by any means. So I hope nobody gets the wrong impression of me, but I'm nervous that maybe the major tournament organizations are at some point going to have a really hard time with their viewership going up if, unfortunately, some of these guys like Skeet and Clark, and they just say, screw it, I'm out of here. Because number one, it's too hard to compete, and I'm just burned out.
True enough. So I had mentioned that I've been, I'm catching these episodes of the TNZ podcast on the new Bassmaster channel. And I don't remember, one day last week I was watching it, and it was the one where Zona brought up his idea about the senior tour. Have you guys, anybody see that episode?
I didn't. I guess I need to go back and watch it.
And I'd have to dig it up, or maybe you can just search the clip on YouTube and find it. But Zona had a pretty awesome idea for a senior tour, and kind of made me wonder if maybe he wasn't going to launch it. It's possible. I don't know. We'll see.
You never know. And I agree with the comments, Chris and Matt. Matt makes a valid statement. I'm not for sure if the younger guys are going to be able to stay in the league for 20 plus years either.
They're
just
not.
because of the way tournament fishing is going with the regulations and
Now, I think
everything.
you weren't on. We talked about this I think we talked about this last week, didn't we? With Ott.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, with Ott.
And we talked about this very thing, that I believe that we're past that. I believe that it's becoming more, not monetarily or anything like that, but it's becoming more like a true professional sport, where in football or basketball or baseball, the average length that a guy stays in football is 3 years. That's the average length. You have your outliers that stay in for 20 years, or not even 20 years anymore, but 10 years or whatever.
Well,
you got your Joe Flacco that's, been around forever, but you have your young, and I'm not afraid. I believe this is what's going to happen, is the Easton Fothergills and the Tucker Smiths, and they have a couple bad years. They're going to be out.
Yeah, and they're not going to be able to build a career out of it.
No, and all the youngsters that are coming in are just as good as them. And so it's going to turn over. It's going to turn over more like a true professional sport, which is, to your point, not a good thing.
I don't think so.
Not good for the companies.
I don't think the viewership's going to like it at all.
No, not good for the companies to keep their viewership and their loyalty, and people are just going to get bored when they don't know anybody.
They're just going to have a hard time finding somebody to root for, because every time they root for someone, then the next year they're gone.
Yeah.
Me personally, historically, I was always one of those guys that when a certain lake got picked on the schedule, I was always like, okay, if I'm going to go down and follow them, for example, I'm going to follow this guy, and this guy, or try to figure out, where's Mark Davis fishing on Table Rock because he did well there last time, or or where's KVD going to crank on Grand when they come here next, or this or that. And with the way it's going, I'm afraid that, maybe that flotilla of boats out there isn't even going to happen anymore.
I think that's yes. I think the flotillas went out with fast track, and nobody needs to follow a guy to know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the live coverage.
The live coverage, you don't have to, which is good for the fishermen because they don't have these flotillas following them around, but bad for the viewers.
It just changes the interaction a little bit, And me, I've kind of been lost in time a little bit, I think, this year. You got a guy like one of the best that ever touched a rod and reel. You got Kevin Van Dam pretty much fully retired at this point from professional tournament fishing. And he's got this new show, and I haven't even seen a single episode.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it either.
I've watched them all.
And I'm just wondering, I'm like, what's he doing? I had no idea.
Okay,
I've watched him make a cast since he retired.
So I did find, unless they've changed it, but I don't think they have. So it's going to be the 10 EQ qualifiers, 70 that requalify on points for this year. So if you're in the top 70, you're in. Where some of the others come that may be outside the top 70 is like Blake Caps.
Automatically.
Blake Caps is in 98th place or in last place, but he gets 2 years automatically. Once you make it, you get 2 years.
If he chooses to fish another year.
If he chooses to spend the money and go, because he didn't make any money this year. So, but it's those 70, and that's where the whiteboard comes in, because you don't know who out of the Blake Capses of the world are going to stay another year or go, who's going to retire, who's not. It is an average of the Angler of the Year regular season points from 2006 on.
Okay, so it's the Elite Series career.
Yeah. With one drop for every 5 years fished. So those that have been in 20 years can drop their 4 worst years.
Yeah.
So all that, you have to figure all that in. So that's why the general person, there's no way for a general person, hey, because you don't know all that stuff. And you don't know until they announce who's not coming back, who is, the averages, who made the EQs. And that's why the number is between 100 and 105 usually.
I think the biggest field I remember is like 107 or something.
Yeah, that was like right after the split. And they're trying to keep people and stuff like that. So that's how they qualify. You can't figure it out, but I'm glad you looked that up. I appreciate that, because that's what I was thinking. It was at the inception of the Elite Series, starting in 2006, the veterans were able to go back and not have to worry about their 3 best years. So, and then you got Legends. And I think those are like, let's say the Legends that have them this year decide not to come back. I think they bump whoever the next legend is that gets an invitation, bumps the last place guy.
Well, and that Legends exemption only buys you just a short amount of time.
You still
If I'm
got to
not mistaken.
requalify.
Yeah,
You still got to requalify.
because that Legends exemption will get you back on the Elite Series, but it doesn't.
Randy
get
Howell
you-
got the Legends exemption and Cliff Pace,
Yes.
but I don't believe either. Well, I think Randy's inside the 70. He might be like 68, but he's got to have a good tournament this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know where Cliff is. I haven't looked at the standings lately.
I'm not picking on Clun, but I'm gonna use him as an example because it's at the top of my memory. He used the Legends exemption to stay on the elites for an extra year or two
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah, he did.
it's some sort of a mathematical equation of how many classics and AOYs and yada yada yada. So he used it to requalify him for the Elite Series for the last couple of years, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
But it's a complicated mess, to your point.
I'm lost. I've followed it for 30 damn years and I'm lost.
Jared's right. Jared, the reason why MPFL is going to gain ground, and I'm not taking it away from anybody that's in the MPFL, but it's not an invitation. It's not an invitational tour. I think that's my number one point to the MPFL, and I'm not taking away anything that those guys are doing because they're paying out the money and they're doing what they need to be doing, but it's a pay-to-play pro tour. So I think that's one of the reasons why I think the MPFL will gain ground.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
but eventually they're going to, and I think they're close already to
Capping it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think originally I thought the plan was they were going to cap it at 150, but
Yeah.
that was before they even started.
But they still, like, if you fill out the application and want to join, they still interview you and make sure you're going to be right for what they think, like, can you fish?
Are you going to be a nightmare with a camera in your boat?
Yeah. I mean, if I filled out the application and they saw, oh, I see you won the Frank Stone Memorial Tournament back to back. That gets you in. No, they're not going to say that.
Now, hold on a minute. I want to challenge that theory, and let's just do a GoFundMe, and I will apply, and I want to see if I get accepted. And I'm not saying I'm any kind of fisherman at all. I just want to challenge that. I just want to challenge that statement.
I'm not saying you're a bad fisherman, but I don't believe you'd be accepted. I don't believe I'd be accepted.
My personal opinion, I think if you got the money and you enter and you give them that resume, my personal opinion is they'll accept you.
Maybe.
I don't think so going forward.
Yeah,
last year, yeah. The last 3 or 4 years, definitely. This coming season, no.
Why wouldn't they?
I don't think so.
Why wouldn't they? If their field isn't capped off, why wouldn't they?
Well, first of all, you got 30 people that are coming off or 15 people that are coming off or what was MLF this year?
They went from 80
to 50.
So there's 30 anglers out of that group that are looking for a place to fish. 30.
What's the contract say that those guys sign? What's the contract say? And what's their message to everybody?
Whose contract?
When I know I'm backing up a couple years, but when MPFL first started, they said, this is what we're wanting to do, and we'll give you guys a sponsorship packet. We're going to help you guys get sponsorships so you can sustain a career somewhere. You got a landing spot. You've got a tournament circuit that we're welcoming anglers that haven't been able to qualify for a professional tour, but have the money and want to fish a pro level tournament series.
Yeah,
that was their message.
It was.
I'm sure
it was, but I think they've advanced past that.
I don't know.
I think they did this year. I think they did that this year when they had all the elite guys come over.
Yeah.
And now they're going to have now they're going to have more elite guys come over, veterans that are in the bottom. There's some guys in the bottom that are going to be looking for a place to fish.
I can think of a couple.
And
Clifford Perch. Here's your bottom. Now, some of these are going to get in based on their AOI average since 2006. But here's your bottom 20 right now in the Elite Series. Jeff Gustafson, Cliff Pace, Clifford Perch, Chris Zaldane, Hank Cherry,
Chad Pipkin,
Paul Mueller, Logan Latuso, Matty Wong, who's retiring, Ray Hanselman, Matt Robertson, Jonathan Kidd, Mark Menendez.
A lot of those names don't make me nervous because you're talking about a couple of classic champions.
Buddy Gross, Jamie Hartman, Kenta Kimura, Mark Frazier, Mike Iaconelli, Chad Pipkins, Ed Lawfern, Bernie Schultz, Steve Kennedy, Jason Williamson, Scott Martin, Matt Herron, Blake Caps. Now, like I said, some of them are Blake Caps is back in if he wants it. Iaconelli, a lot of them averages. Iaconelli, Paul Mueller might get back in just based on average because he's been in so long. Even though he wouldn't pop out at you as one that might make it back in, but he's been in the elites a long time.
Yeah.
So, Chris Zaldane, Hank Cherry, probably back in. And they're not far out. They're in the 80. Greg Hackney's 78. Alex Wetherell. I mean, you got to have it. And then you got the 30 that we're talking about from the MLF. That's a lot of guys looking for a place.
I definitely see your point, and I know that this year is probably going to be the year that you're going to see a lot of guys go, well, I guess I'll fish the MPFL because that's about all that's left, and I can pay to play over there, and I know they'll take me. So if I were the MPFL, I would say I'm going to get choosier because it's almost they're going to come over here by default. I hate to say that, but that's the truth.
No, I think they are going to get choosy.
They're going to have to at some point.
You're making our argument.
Yeah, I completely get that, but I'm just saying. Before you guys are saying, oh well, we're going to get all these big name pros because they just got cut from the circuit that they were fishing.
No, the MPFL's doing the same thing. They're gonna keep their guys that have been loyal from the beginning if they can. So they're not gonna take that many. There might be, I don't know. Let's just say there's 20. What'd they have this year? 130 or something.
130. Like that? They capped it at 130 this year.
So let's just say 30 either don't come back or don't get invited back or whatever, and they leave it at 130. I'm saying I think there's 30 pros out there that would do it
Well,
that
they
they would
haven't.
take before they would take me
I don't
if
think
I
they.
just filled out an application and wrote them a check.
I don't think they've made any cuts yet.
No.
And so that's a telltale sign to me that if you've got the money for the entry fee, you're more than welcome to fish.
Well, they can't make cuts because they haven't even just made if they're capping it at 130 and that's all they've got, they're not going to cut anybody.
Right.
I'm saying if there's 30 guys like Daryl Robertson that decides not to fish NPFL, which I don't think he is, he's done trying that. There's a spot.
I love Jared's.
I think there'll be like
He must have a heck of a bunch of lizards.
Yeah.
A bunch of lizards. Interesting twist with NPFL. They are not announcing their schedule until their roster is full.
Smart. They don't want to have
Because,
all these guys that were already signed up got all the waypoints. That's all they're trying to do there is they're just trying to avoid that. No information, whatever.
Wonder how many lizards Jared's really has.
He's got a lot.
I got a bunch of lizards to donate. If Kyle is head there, I'm short on cash though. That's hilarious.
Hey, question for everybody. And I'm asking because I don't know. Toyota Series. Can you just enter the Toyota Series as a co? I thought they used to have a deal where you had to fish so many BFLs, or you had to finish in a regional BFL or something to qualify for Toyota Series.
I don't know that answer.
And that's for everybody watching also. If anybody knows the answer.
I can send a text message back to Alan Gray and ask him. He texts me all these BFL updates, and I've only fished one.
I don't know. I would think, Dominic says no.
Dom would know. He's fished some Toyota Series stuff. Yeah.
I thought you could just enter him.
That
Kit fishes. Fishes.
Dom's fished more than one Toyota Series as a non-boater, and
what is it? Is it the Plains division that was so close around here next season? It's like it started at Grand in March and Grand and the ditch and
I think
lost
that's
me
right.
at the ditch.
I think that's right, Danny.
And then Grand and the ditch and somewhere I can't remember what the third one is, but then
Eufaula,
maybe it was. They were all pretty close by, so I was just curious, just looking.
They like to go to Eufaula. Wish they'd go to Hudson.
Oh, wow.
I like me some Hudson.
I haven't been there for so long.
Me neither.
I think my thumb may be healed up by now. I mean, it's been 20 years.
I would hope your thumb's healed up by now. When's the Stone tournament next year?
Whenever he scheduled it.
Your thumb may take it a while to heal up after that one.
Yeah, Southwestern. There you go. Thanks, Dom. It starts at Rayburn and then Grand and then the ditch.
Interesting.
And then the regional is Pickwick.
Speaking of the Stong, Kiki, did you see these cool trophies me and John got?
Oh,
Way to segue there, Cranker. I love it. Those are awesome. Those are so cool.
Look at the
Yeah.
time. All right. Yep.
The time. Oh well, there's more. Hold on. Look, there's more.
Nice fish, John.
But wait, there's still more.
Was that bass you was holding there, John? Was it a healthy fish?
It was.
Yeah,
Good.
it was.
Good.
It
Good.
was-
Good.
They were both healthy.
Good.
Mine had some sort of weird
It-
skin problem.
Yours did have. It was fat.
Can you
Mhm.
put that? Can you put that one you caught up back up there, Crank?
No.
See those? Are those sores?
Yeah, it had some red sores on it.
Yeah,
but it
the
was
other
fat.
side was worse.
But it was fat.
So
It was healthy, but it was.
I even hate to say this, but when the largemouth bass virus was really getting after it, there was a lot of fish swimming around with those sores on them.
We didn't catch any others that had it on it.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Still got a good looking fish there though. I mean, he's got good color and he doesn't really look like he's too affected by the summertime heat, So
No, it was. I
Put a
think it was-
workout on the old fairy wand, that's for sure.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
Hey, Kister, we only got to hear this for like 360 more days.
I'm not really that worried about it.
It's all in
shade
good
too.
fun.
It's only like maybe 2 or 3 minutes per week. So we can change subjects rather quickly if we need to.
I thought it didn't bother you.
Huh? I'm good.
I wish I could have been there, honestly.
Yeah. You never know. Maybe things would have been a little bit different outcome if we'd have fished.
There's only one
Doubt
way
it.
to find out.
Doubt it, but maybe.
There's only one way to find out.
I mean,
Next year.
Or maybe we just need to have a tournament. I like that. Maybe we just need to have a tournament, just the 4 of us.
Oh,
show that one. That was for next. Show those, Kyle. Can you? Those
What's
are
that?
from. Those are from last, or when I went up to Iowa.
Old JS went on a little bit of a roll there for a couple weeks.
Yeah, buddy.
what do you want me to show?
I can't even open it.
On the.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me get on my Facebook page and download them real quick. Talk a little bit about that, John.
Man, that is such a fun trip to go up there to Iowa. And I've talked a little bit about it before. They got all these little lakes like the size of, Bone Creek and Wilson County and, all these little county lakes and stuff. They got those up in Iowa. And Okoboji, we went to Okoboji, and the fishing is just phenomenal. So that picture is me and Brooks has a little bit of an issue with smiling and taking pictures.
It's okay. My son does too.
Like all the pictures he's got this fake weird smile, and I'm like, just be natural, dude, because he's a funny, hilarious kid, but none of the pictures show that we took for the whole trip. So we fished a little Tuesday nighter, and it was his first tournament. and we had 14 pounds, and we caught the last two fish there, and he's like, every fish we catch, he'd be like, "You think that's enough to get us in the money? Think that's enough to get us in the money?" And I was like, "No, we're fishing against 15 other local boats, and on a lake that they fish all the time, and I've been doing this with my granddaughter and my granddaughter the previous 5 or 6 years, and we've never even come close to competing with them." And so I'm like, no, it's not. We're not gonna. And we went up and we weighed, and we had 14 pounds, and I didn't hear anybody. I heard one other weight. I heard the 15 something. Somebody had 15, almost 16. We had 14 and a half. And I just figured that was probably, fourth or fifth place, good showing. And I figured that 16 was probably second or third. And they started reading the results, and they said fifth place was like 9 pounds. I'm like, oh, okay. Then I'm like, they're like fourth place, 11 pounds. Third place, 12 pounds. I'm like, crap, Brooks. We might win this thing. And then they're like, second place, 14.5. Then the new guys. And Brooks, he's a pretty confident kid, actually. And so I'm like, go up and get your money. And he struts up there. I mean, like struts up there. It was pretty hilarious. Pretty hilarious.
Oh,
That
man.
is a great picture.
Yeah. They had 15 boats, and they paid like 4 places. So we got like, I think that was his share. And I took I kept like $30 or something. I let him, I think we won like $80.
That's great.
Awesome memories.
Hey, Danny, happy anniversary to you and Wendy.
Yeah.
Oh,
happy
yes.
anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations on making it that long.
Yeah.
It's an achievement.
It's 30 years in a row.
That's awesome.
So before I forgot and everything else and come up with some sort of an excuse to go inside and put my kids to bed here in a couple minutes, congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
But to finish the story on the whole trip, I talked about we started a couple years ago doing the 100 fish challenge, and last year we hit 103. So we try to break it every year. And Brooks and Amelia was at church camp, so she didn't get to fish much. So it was me and Brooks. And by Friday, I went up Sunday, and by Friday we had fished four or five little lakes, and then we went to Okoboji for 2 days, half a day on Wednesday and a full day Thursday and half a day Friday, and then headed back to where they live. And Okoboji was pretty awesome. It's kind of a touristy lake. Like after about 10 o'clock, you can't hardly fish because of all the wake boats and everything else. So we got there Wednesday afternoon and fished in the afternoon. We still caught 12 fish, I think, Wednesday afternoon. Nothing big. But we got up early and hit the lake at sunup Thursday, and we ran into a guy. Jerry Pape had given me some waypoints on it, but we ran into a guy that Jerry knew at the ramp, and he's like, I thought that was you. He knew me, from somewhere, from some tournament. And he goes, I thought that was you. And so we talked a little bit, and he went fishing, and we were out about a half an hour, and Jerry texted me and said, the guy you just talked to at the ramp just caught an 8 and a 6 on back-to-back casts. And he's here, and he told me what point he was on. You need to go. He said to come over there. So Brooks and I ran over there, and it was a point we had fished Wednesday afternoon. But the guy had caught an 8 and a 6 and like 2 4s on consecutive casts when he pulled up.
What was he doing?
And I've got the pictures. He was throwing a big hair jig. And I've got the pictures of it. I don't know. Did I send them to you guys?
I don't think you sent those.
Anyway, it was pretty awesome. But so the next day, and we've caught a few fish there, but nothing that big. And then the wake boats came by the time, we got there, and we caught like 25 fish still before the wake boats and stuff got out. And so we got up early the next morning and ran to that spot, and we didn't catch anything, but I did catch a 4 3/4 pound smallmouth off that spot. And mind you, when I say I caught, I probably boated out of the 145 fish that we caught that week. I probably boated 40 because Mr. Brooks wanted to reel in everything that I hooked, including that one. And he did. He got it in. I netted it. I hooked it, and he reeled it in. But we didn't catch that many smallmouth. They were almost all largemouth, but it was a fun lake. Be good to go like now after school has started.
Mm-hmm.
Go or maybe after Labor Day, go and hit it. But we caught 145 fish, so we set the bar pretty high for next year. Well, when Brooks and I got done on Friday, we had caught 104 or 5 fish, 105 fish, I think. And then Amelia and I went Saturday and caught 30 on the same lake that Brooks and I got second place on.
Awesome.
Just a few days later. So it was a lot of fun.
You just smoked that record.
We did smoke that record. And then I came back and drained the gear lube out of the milky colored gear lube out of my gear case, and took my lower unit into old James at A1 Outboards. He thinks it's just a seal, so hopefully that's it. There wasn't any shavings in the gear case, and there was in the oil, and he didn't think the shaft was bent, but he can't be for sure till he gets it apart.
Which takes about 30 minutes.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll call him tomorrow. I dropped it off Friday, so he's had it a couple days now. So
put it on a pitch block and put a mic on it and see.
Yeah. Hopefully everything's good.
So Next week, we have a cool guest again.
Maybe two.
And maybe two. See, that's how John does. He's even got contingency built into the guest program. Who we got next week, John?
We are going to have the one and only Mr. Laker Howell. Just won the Open
I am
on Leech Lake.
I don't think that young man has slept.
And we would have had him on tonight, but for one thing, it is also his anniversary.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
And I think he's been married 1 year.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's 1 year. Maybe 2. I don't know. Can't be much more than that.
He better take care of her.
Yeah. So, and Dad is in 60th place. So if he has a decent tournament, he'll requalify for the elites. But he has to have a pretty good tournament to make the classic. Like he's got to have like a top 5, I think Laker was telling me, or maybe Randy was telling me. He's got to have like a top 5, he thinks, to qualify for the classic. But if he does that, it'll be pretty cool because we'll have Laker and Randy both fishing the classic, and I'm pretty sure we can get Randy back on with Laker. Maybe we'll do it either whether he qualifies or not. But if I know Randy, he won't want to steal the thunder from Laker, from the win. So
very cool.
But that's what we got planned.
And we went 2 hours and we didn't have a plan. And a year ago, we couldn't go 10 minutes.
What show was this? Did we figure out the number?
This is episode 67.
67
of the Idle Zone Syndicate.
Nice.
Awesome.
When Kiki and I envisioned this through the beer glasses at Fifth Street Bar and Grill,
oh my, that place is good.
I would have never, ever guessed that we have 67 episodes.
Did you know the average podcast lasts 7 episodes?
I like to remind people of that as much as possible. Great show, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Hey, tell a friend about it. Check out
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
That's right.
Peace. I'm going to bed. I'm old and grouchy.